In front of him. Their mother is Alif. She is older, weaker, and carrying 17 years of secret in her eyes. Ares cannot move at first. He has imagined his face so many times in dream that the real person almost feel unreal. Teoman is even more confused because he remembers her only in flashes. For Ares, she is a lost mother returned from the dead. For Teoman, she is both familiar and unknown. The woman looks at both sons as if she has been waiting for this moment longer than either of them. Ares slowly walks down the stairs, his whole body intense. He wants to run toward her, but another part of him is afraid. What if this is another trap? What if the woman is not really who she claims to be? The last week have taught Ares that every answer can hide there another lie. He stops a few steps away. The woman begins crying harder. She says his childhood nickname, a name nobody in boardroom knows. Ares freezes. That one word breaks something inside him. He remembers his mother using that name when he was small, usually when she wanted him to calm down after fighting with Dimmer. Ares whispers, "Mom." This time his voice sounds like the voice of the child he used to be. She reaches toward him. Ares moves forward. They embrace for several seconds. Nobody speaks. Maiden looks away because the moment feels too private. Humans remains near the stair. He watches Ares hold their mother and feels something difficult that he cannot immediately name. Part of him is happy for Ares, another part feels like an outsider. Ares remembered this woman. Ares knows her voice, her habit, and the way she held him. Teoman has only broken pieces of memory. Their mother opens her eyes during the embrace and looks toward Teoman. She says, "Dimmer." Teoman immediately becomes uncomfortable. He says, "I used Teoman." The woman stops for 1 second. Pain crosses her face, but she does not argue. She nods. Teoman, that response surprises him. He expected her to insist on the old name. Instead, she respects his choice immediately. She tells him she has known for years that he was called Teoman. He asks how her face changes. She looks toward the wall filled with photographs. I watched. Teoman becomes tense. Ares slowly releases her. He asks what she means. The mother explained that she followed their lives from a distance whenever she could, not constantly, not safely, but enough to know that Ares survived and enough to know that Dimmer had become Teoman Akaya. Ares looks at the photographs on the wall again. Pictures of him walking through boardroom, pictures of Teoman, pictures of Leila. The idea that his mother was somewhere nearby while he searched for his family created anger inside him. He asked, "Why did not you come to us?" His voice is not soft anymore. Their mother closes her eyes. She knew this question would come first. She says she tried. Ares says, 17 years, she answers. I know. Ares repeats it louder. 17 years. Teoman looks at him. This is different from the anger. He shows toward Hakan. This comes from a child who waited for his mother every day. Their mother tells him to let her explain. Ares says that is why they came. He wants every answer. No more half-truths. No more protecting him. No more saying something was too dangerous for him to know. She agrees. She says if they found the blue house, then the time for hiding is over. Teoman asks why the house contained an investigation while their mother looks toward the photograph of Orhan. She says because she has spent years trying to prove who destroyed their family. Ares asks whether the sentence on the wall is true. He gave the order. The woman nods. She says Orhan Karaka ordered their father stopped before he could expose the criminal network. Ares asks whether Orhan ordered the crash. She says not exactly in those words. He ordered his people to recover the evidence at any cost. Everyone involved understood what that meant. Teoman asks what evidence. Their mother walks toward a locked drawer. She removes a file inside our old business record, photograph, bank transfers and names. She says their father reports that Orhan was using several companies to move illegal money through tourism, construction, shipping, and property business. Hakan's company was one of those companies. Aras looks angry. She tells him Hakan was involved but was not the person in control. Hakan was useful because he had influence in boardroom. He helped move money, arrange contracts, and keep people quiet. But Orhan had connections much larger than Hakan. Teoman asked why their father became involved. The mother explained that their father initially worked as a financial consultant for one company connected to Hakan. He noticed numbers that did not make sense. Payments were being sent to business that did not exist. Properties were sold several times between related companies. Money disappeared and returned under different names. At first, he believed it was tax fraud. Then, he found connections to weapons smuggling, blackmail, and political corruption. Teoman asked whether their father planned to go to the police. She says not immediately. He did not trust local officials because some were connected to Orhan. He collected evidence and planned to give it to a prosecutor outside the region. Aras asks who betrayed him. Their mother becomes quiet. This is clearly difficult. She says they still do not know for certain. Someone close to the family told Orhan that evidence had been copied. Aras immediately asks about Serhat. She says Serhat knew parts of the plan, but she does not believe he was the first betrayal. Teoman asks about Simal. She says Simal was a follower. He did not what Hakan and Orhan's people told him. Aras asks about Murad. Their mother's face changes more strongly. That reaction tells them the name matters. She says Murad was once their father's closest friend. Aras looks at the photograph of Murad beside her. Teoman remembers the warning written on the wall, do not trust Murad. He asks what Murad did. Their mother says she does not know whether Murad betrayed them from the beginning or later. At first he helped, he gave her money, he arranged safe places, he helped create a false identity. After she disappeared without Murad, she may have died, but years later she learned that he had also been meeting with Orhan. Teoman asks whether Murad was playing both sides. She says maybe. The uncertainty is why the warning exists. Aras becomes impatient. He says she still has not answered why she never came to them. Their mother looks directly at him. She says after the crash everything happened very quickly. Their father was taken. She was injured. Dimar was brought to the clinic. Aras disappeared into state care. She tried to reach Dimar first because she knew where he was. Hakan stopped her. Aras says Nermeen already told them. The mother nods. She says after the clinic they tried to find Aras. Then she received a message claiming someone could take her to him. The message came through Serhat. Teoman asks whether it was a trap. She says yes and no. Serhat may have genuinely tried to help, but someone followed him. When she reached the meeting place, Orhan's men were waiting. Aras becomes tense. He asks what they did. She says they took her to a remote property. They wanted the copied evidence. She told them she did not have it. They did not believe her. For days she was questioned and threatened. They told her that if she did not cooperate, both sons would disappear permanently. Teoman looks sickened. Aras asks how they escaped. She looks toward the photograph of Murad. Murad, he helped her escape. This explains why she trusted him for years. He arranged the false identity. Selma Arsalan, he gave her money. He did her in several cities. He also told her something that shaped every decision afterward. Orhan was watching both boys. Aras asks why Orhan cared about children. Their mother says because the children would be used as pressure and because Dimar had witnessed part of the night. Teoman touches his notebook. He remembers the angry man, the ring, the house, the car. She says they did not know how much Dimmer remembered. Orhan wanted to keep control. Hakan offered another solution. He would keep the child close, change his identity, and make sure memories stayed buried. Teoman becomes furious, so Hakan made a deal. Their mother nods. Hakan protected Dimmer from Orhan by taking control of him himself. Teoman laughs bitterly. That is not protection. That is not protection. She agrees it was control, distinguishing as protection. But she adds something Teoman does not expect. If Hakan had not taken Dimmer into Akaya family, Orhan may have ordered something worse. This complicates Hakan's role. He may have committed a triable crime by stealing Teoman's identity, yet he may also have prevented Orhan from killing him. Ares does not like this complexity. He says Hakan still kept the brothers apart. Their mother agrees. Hakan had chances to tell the truth later. He chose not to. Fear became an excuse. Then the lie became useful. Then it became part of the family. Teoman asks if she hates Sebnum. Their mother pushes. She says for many years, yes, she hated the woman who becomes Dimmer's mother. She imagined Sebnum taking her place, hearing the word mom, celebrating birthdays, and watching her soon grow. Teoman looks away. The mother nods. She says, but that was my pain, not your guilt. Teoman looks back at her. She says he was a child. If Sebnum loved him and he loved her, that love was real, even if the situation around it was wrong. Teoman's eyes become emotional. This is exactly what the letter said. He asks why she wrote that to him. She says because she never wanted the truth to force him into choosing between mothers. She wanted him to know one thing: what Sebnum did may need forgiveness. What Teoman felt does not. He does not have to apologize for loving the person who raised him. Teoman sits down. This woman already understands the conflict he has barely learned to describe. Aras watches them for a moment. Jealousy unexpectedly moves through him. Teoman is talking calmly with their mother while Aras is filled with anger. Then he immediately hates himself for the feeling. The mother notices his expression. She asks what he is thinking. Aras says nothing. She tells him not to hide. Aras suddenly asks why she could watch him from a distance but never speak. This returns the conversation to his pain. She says every time she tried to move closer, someone followed. There were years when she did not even know when Aras was. Later, when she found him, he was being watched by people connected to Orhan. Aras says he never noticed. She says that was the point. Some watchers were not there every day. They appeared whenever she tried to approach. She tested it once years earlier. They came close to the orphanage where Aras lived. Within hours, Murat warned her that someone had followed. Another time, she sent a message through a social worker. The worker disappeared from the job 2 days later. Aras asks what happened to them. She does not know. After she became aware that contact itself would hurt him, Aras says you should have tried anyway. The words are harsh. Teoman looks at him. Their mother accepts them. Maybe Aras was not accepting agreement. She says she made choices from fear. Some protected them, some may have hurt them more. She does not want to excuse everything by saying she was a mother. Aras anger weakness slightly. She says there were nights when she stood near him from across a street and wanted to run toward him. She knew if she did, she might bring dangerous people with her. She chose distance. Aras says distance her too. She says she knows. For several seconds, both cry without trying to hide it. Then Aras asks about the photographs in the house. Who took them? Their mother says sometimes she did, sometimes trusted people did. Nermeen helped early. Later, Murat helped. More recently, someone else sent photographs without being asked. Tioman immediately becomes suspicious, who she says she does not know. In Vella began arriving with pictures of Aras, Tioman, Leila and the Kaya house. No message, no name. Aris looks toward the pictures again. This means someone has been watching both brothers independently of their mother. Martin becomes serious. He says whoever sent them may be connected to Orhan. Their mother agrees, or they may be someone trying to warn her. Tioman asks whether Serhat could have sent them. She says possible. Serhat has moved between sides for years. Aras says Serhat is impossible to understand. Their mother says because Serhat has spent his life surviving. He helped Orhan, then Hakan, then secretly helped her, then betrayed information, then regretted it. He has never been fully loyal to anyone because loyalty would have killed him. Tioman asks whether they can trust him now. She says no, but they may still need him. Aras does not like that answer. Their mother then opens another box. Inside are notes about Serhat's movement. She says Serhat connected her 3 months early. This surprises everyone. Aras asks what he wanted. She says he told her Aras was coming to Bodrum. Aris freezes. Serhat knew before Aris arrived. Tioman asks how. She says Serhat had been watching Aris search from a distance. She knew Aris finally connected dimmer to Bodrum. The mother wanted to contact him immediately. Serhat stopped her. He said the situation was not safe because Hakan and Orhan's people were both active. Aris asked why Serhat later helped him with clues. She says because once Aras was already in Bodrum, the secret could no longer stay buried. Serhat decided controlled truth was safer than uncontrolled discovery. Tioman says that sounds exactly like something Serhat would believe. Aras asks if Serhat knew Tioman was with her mother. Their mother says yes, always. This makes Aras angry again. He says everybody knew except the brothers. Their mother says that is one of the cruelest part. Adults turn the truth into something they control. The children who suffered most were the last people allowed to hear it. Tioman looks toward the wall. He says that is over now. His mother looks at him. Tioman says nobody control his story anymore. The sentence makes her proud, but she hides it. Martin asks about Orhan if he gave the order and is still alive. What exactly does he want now? The mother says the original financial evidence was never fully recovered. If he gave the order and is still alive, what exactly does he want now? The mother says the original financial evidence was never fully recovered. Their father made several copies. Orhan spent years searching. One copy disappeared after the crash. She believed their father hid it before they left. Aras asks where. She says she does not know. Tioman looks at the investigation board. Maybe this is why Orhan still watches them. If he believes one of the brothers can lead him to the evidence, the danger ever ended. Aras asks whether their father told anyone where he did it. The mother says he may have given a clue to Aras. Aras looks confused. He was a child. She explained that their father loves games and cards. He sometimes hid information inside children's stories because he believed nobody would suspect them. Tioman remembers the blue house. Was that one of those caught? Their mother says yes. The blue house was both a real family property and part of a story their father created. The evidence may be hidden through another childhood memory. Aras tries to remember. He thinks of games with his father, maps, treasure hunts, small wooden boxes, a story about 7 boards. Tioman suddenly says the lighthouse. Everyone looks at him. He does not know where the wood came from. He opens Danny's notebook and writes it. A memory returns. Their father taking the brother near an old lighthouse. He tells them that if they ever lost something important, the light knows where to look. Aris stares at him. He remembers the same sentence. Martin asks where the lighthouse is. Aris says there was an old one outside Bodrum where their father used to take them. The building may still exist. Their mother becomes tense. She says if the mother brother remember it or Han may know about it. Aris wants to go immediately. Tioman says they just found their mother after 17 years. Aris wants to go immediately. Tioman says they just found their mother after 17 years. Maybe they should not rush into another trap after 10 minutes. Aris gives him an annoyed look. Their mother almost smiles. Maybe they should not rush into another trap after 10 minutes. Aris gives him an annoyed look. Their mother almost smiles. She says Dimard used to tell Aris the same thing as a child. Tioman quickly says Tioman. She corrects herself. Tioman. Then she adds that apparently some part did not change. The small movement brings warmth into the room. Aris asks whether their mother can come back to Bodrum with them. Her expression changes. She says, not yet. Aris immediately becomes angry. Not again. She says, listen first. The blue house may already be compromised. If Orhan learns the brother found her, he may attack more openly. Aris says hiding is what allowed the lie to survive. She says, listen first. The blue house may already be compromised. If Orhan learns the brother found her, he may attack more openly. Aris says hiding is what allowed a lie to survive. She agrees. But coming to Bodrum police without a plan could get more people hurt. Tioman asks what she suggests. She says they should separate the goals. First, secure the evidence. Second, expose enough truth that Orhan cannot quietly remove everyone. Third, confront Hakan with proof rather than emotion. Aris asks why Hakan matters if Orhan is the larger enemy. She says Hakan knows the local network. He may be the only person who can identify which police, business and security people are compromised. Tioman looks unhappy. So we need him. The mother says yes. Needing Hakan does not mean forgiving him. It means understanding the battlefield. Martin agrees. Aris does not. He says Hakan has lied too many times. Tioman surprisingly defends the practical point. They can use Hakan's knowledge without trusting him. Aris looks at him. Tioman says he learned something from growing up in that house. Hakan never gives information because it is right. He gives it when silence becomes more dangerous than talking. They need to create that situation. Their mother looks at Tioman carefully. He thinks like Hakan now. That could be useful or dangerous. Tioman notices her expression. He asks what. She says nothing. He insists. She finally says Hakan shaped him. Tioman becomes defensive. She says she is not criticizing. She is observing. The boy she remembers became a young man partly under Hakan's influence. That means Tioman may know how Hakan thinks better than anyone. Tioman looks away. This is another difficult reality. He wants to separate himself from Hakan lies, yet some of his behavior, confidence, nature and strategy came from him. The mother tells him identity is not about purity. People are made from everything that happened to them. He can reject Hakan's choices without pretending Hakan had no effect on him. Tioman appreciates the honesty. For Aris, an old watch that belonged to their father. For Tioman, a small box containing a childhood bracelet. Tioman recognizes it from the photograph, the matching piece. He takes it carefully. Another memory returns. Their mother fastening the bracelet. Dimar asking why Aris's piece looked better. Aris immediately says because mine was better. Tioman looks at him. Their mother laughs for the first time. The sound itself affects both sons. Aris remembered that laugh. Tioman remembers the feeling of it. For a brief moment, they are not investigating a crime. They are a family in a room. Then a phone rings. The mother looks at the screen. Unknown number. Everyone becomes alert. She answers without speaking. A man's voice says, "You should have left before they arrived." The mother goes pale. Aris asks who it is. The caller continues. He knows the brother are there. Then the calls end. Mitten immediately checks outside. No visible vehicles. Tioman asks who he means. The mother says probably Orhan. Aris says they are leaving now. This time nobody argues. They move quickly. The mother has an emergency bag prepared. That detail shows she had lived ready to disappear for years. Aris sees it and feels another kind of sadness. He asks if she always lives like this. She says yes. One bag, documents, cash, no place feel permanent. Iris says that ends today. She looks at him. He does not know how yet, but he means it. They leave using separate vehicles. Martin Murad looks at the photograph. He says quietly, "Your sons finally found each other." Then another man enters the room. Murad looks up. The camera does not show the man's face. The man asks, "Do they know you were there the night he died?" Murad says no. The man replies, "Good." Murad closes the suitcase. The audience now understand that Murad's connection to the brother's father is much darker and more personal than anyone knows. Aris and Tioman may have survived Orhan's first move. They may have recovered the evidence. Hakan may finally have chosen to protect them openly. Their mother may finally have returned to their lives, but the original betrayal has still not been identified. Someone close to their father helped Orhan. Someone knew where the evidence was hidden. Someone was present when their father disappeared, and all the roads are beginning to move toward Murad. The next part of Daha 17 can therefore become a battle not only against Orhan but against a question that may hurt even more than the years of separation. Who inside their father's circle betrayed him? Aris wants justice. Yoman wants truth. Their mother wants her sons alive. Hakan wants to survive the consequences of his choice. Ebnam wants a chance to repair her relationship with Tioman. Leila wants Aris to stop carrying every burden alone. Dennis wants Tioman to become someone who can face pain without turning it into cruelty. Dogo Khan has become part of an alliance he never expected. Mateen remains the friend who keeps the brother grounded when anger becomes too strong. And somewhere outside their view, Murat is carrying the one piece of the story that could change everything again. The brothers have finally learned how to stand beside each other. Now they must learn something even harder, how to decide who deserves to stand beside them. Daha 17. In the next episode of Daha 17, Aras and Yoman finally stand face to face with the mother they believed they had lost forever. But their reunion begins under the shadow of danger. Elif is alive. She knows both of her sons survived. She knows Dimmer became Tioman. She knows Aras spent years searching. But before the brothers can understand why she remained hidden, a dark vehicle turns toward the blue house and forces all three of them to face the threat that controlled their family for more than a decade. The reunion they dreamed about cannot begin with peace. It begins with locked doors, old fear, and the realization that Kadir's network may have found them. Elif moves faster than either son expects. She closes the curtains, turns off the lights, and tells them to stay away from the windows. Aris watches her carefully. Only minutes ago, she looked like the mother he remembered from childhood. Now she looks like someone who has spent years learning how to survive. Her hands move with experience. She checks one window, then another. She takes a phone from a drawer, removes the battery from it, and puts another small device into her pocket. Tioman starts. He asks whether she lives like this every day. Elif does not answer. That silence tells him enough. Aras asks who is outside. Elif says she cannot be sure. The car stops near the road. Nobody exits immediately. That makes the situation worse. Aris wants to look through the window. Elif grabs his arm. The touch freezes both of them for 1 second. It is the first physical contact between mother and son in 12 years. Aris looks at her hand. Elif realizes what she has done. Her eyes fill with emotion, but she quickly pulls away. There is no time. She tells them that there is a book road from the house toward the shoreline. Tioman asks if they are running. Elif says if the car belongs to Kadir's people, fighting would be stupid. Tioman immediately looks at Aras. Aras says to nothing. Tioman smiles slightly. Apparently, recklessness is inherited from only one side of the family. Elif gives him a look. For the first time, something familiar flashes between them. Maybe she once gave Dimmer the same look when he said something difficult as a child. Tioma notices it too, but the moment disappears when a car door opens outside. They hear footsteps. Elif tells the brother to follow her. She opens a small door hidden behind a cupboard. A narrow passage leads toward the back of the property. Aris is shocked. He asks when she built this. Elif says she did not. The house belonged to someone who helped her years ago. People hiding from dangerous men often choose houses with more than one exit. Tioman quickly says he is beginning to understand why his family life feels impossible. They move through the passage. Outside, voices approach the front door. Someone knocks. Nobody answers. The knocking becomes harder. Then the man calls Olive by her false name, Iki. Elif becomes still. Aras asks whether she knows the voice. She says yes. Seems scared. Tioman is surprised. Sim came personally. That means this is not a simple warning. The three exit near the back fence. Elif has an old car hidden nearby. They enter. Aras asks whether Sim want to kill them. Elif says if he wanted them dead immediately, he would not have knocked. That does not make Aras feels better. Tioman says maybe Sim wants the Lidgar. Elif turns sharply. She asks what Lidgar. Aras tells her they recovered it. For 1 second, all fear leaves Elif's expression and is replaced with shock. She asks whether they opened the deposit box. Tioman says yes. They also found their father's letter. Elif grips the steering wheel. Their father's name, Aris notices. Even after 12 years, the money still hurts her. Elif asks where the Lidgar is. Aris says not with them. Copies exist in several places. Elif looks relieved. She tells them never to keep the only copy together. Aris says their father taught them that without being there. Elif looks at him. The comment hurts and comforts her at the same time. They drive away using a small road behind them. Another vehicle appears. Sam's people have seen the car. A chase begun, but Elif does not panic. She knows the area. She turns through narrow roads where a larger vehicle struggles to follow. Tioman watches her with surprise. He asks who together to drive like this. Elif says fear is a good teacher. Aris does not like hearing that. Every sentence reveals another piece of the life his mother lived while he believed she was dead. He begins understanding that finding her does not mean recovering the woman from his childhood unchanged. Just as Dimmer became Tioman, Elif became someone shaped by years of hiding. They reach a small fishing area. Elif stops behind an abandoned storage building. She tells them to get out. Tioman asks what happens to the car. Elif says they leave it. Another vehicle is waiting nearby. Aras asks how many cars she owns. Elif says none. They belong to people who of Nahat favors. Tioman says apparently Everybody in this mystery has secret cards despite everything Aris almost loves. They watch vehicles and continue. Sam's man lost the trail. Only after they are several kilometers away does Elif allow herself to breathe normally. Aris watches her. He cannot stop looking. He remembers her younger. He remembers her holding dimmer. He remembers her voice during storms. Now every time that turns her head, he sees both a mother he lost and a stranger he has never met. Elif notices. She asks him to stop staring. Aris says he cannot. Her face breaks slightly. He says she understands. Tioman looks between them. His position is different. Aris remembers loving Elif. Tioman mostly remembers nothing. He knows this woman in his biological mother because everyone has told him, because the photograph prove it, because memories occasionally appear, but emotionally Shabnam still occupies the place called mother in his life. Elif seems to understand this without him saying it. She does not ask him to call her anything. That makes Tioman relax slightly. They arrive at another safe location, a small farmhouse owned by Nihat's friend. Inside, Ellie finally locks the door and sits for several seconds. Nobody speaks. The danger outside has delayed the conversation long enough. Now there is no escape. Ara stands across from her. Tioman remains near the window. Ellie looks at both sons. She says she imagined this moment many times. Aris immediately answered that so did he, but in his imagination she was dead. The words hurt Elif, except them. She does not defend herself. Aris asks the question again. Why did she stay away? Elif says the answer is long. Tioman says they have time. Aras looks at him. Tioman says after 12 years they can probably spare one evening. Elif almost smiled. Then she begins. After the fire, she woke in private clinic. She did not know what Aras was. She did not know where Dimmer was. People told her both children were dead. She refused to believe them. Her memory was damaged but not completely. She remembered the financial files. She remembered Farag. She remembered Hakan warning them. Most importantly, she remembered the Lidgar Forex people repeatedly questioned her. They wanted to know where her husband hid it. Elif lied. She said she did not know. In reality, she knew her husband created a two-key system. One key went into the old, the other was hid inside Dimmer's toy boat. Tioman looks down at his hand. He says he carried it all those years. Elif smiles sadly. She says she hoped he would. She know Dimmer loved that boat more than almost anything. Tioman says he does not remember loving it that much. Elif tells him he once slept holding it. Tioman becomes uncomfortable with the tenderness. He looks away. Elif immediately stops pushing the memory. Aras notices she is trying not to claim too much of Tioman too quickly. That makes him respect her restraint. Elif continues. Farag's men believed Aras might have one key. They believed Dimmer might have another, but have fused the fire. The boys disappeared into the different system. Farooq could not find Dimmer. Aris was placed under observation, but authorities and institutions made it difficult to reach him openly. Elif says this is one of the reasons she never contacted Aris directly. Farooq watched him. Aris becomes angry. He asks whether she ever saw him. Elif says yes. The first time was about 3 years after the fire. Aris was outside a school building. She watched from across the road. Aris freezes. He asks why she did not run to him. Elif begins crying. She says she almost did. She took several steps. Then she saw a man connected to Farooq parked nearby. She realized Aris was being vast. If she approached, she would confirm she was Alif and lead them directly back to him. So she left. Aris turns away. The story makes sense. That almost make it worse. He says she could have sent someone. Alif says she tried. Two people she trusted disappeared. That almost makes it worse. He says she could have sent someone. Alif says she tried. Two people she trusted disappeared. One was later found dead. After that, she stopped risking anyone. Aras asked whether she ever thought about what silence was doing to him. Alif says every day. Aras responds that thinking about it did not help him. Alif nods. She says she knows she cannot change the past. She can only explain why she made the choices she made. Aris tells her everybody says that. Hakan, Kimal, Sabnam, every adult decided children could serve us lies better than truth. Every adult decided children could survive lies better than truth. Alif lowers her eyes. She says maybe they were wrong. Teoman speaks for the first time in several minutes. He says they were. Alif looks at him. Teoman tells her he spent most of his life believing another story. He loved people who lied to him. He hated people he did not understand. He fought his own brother, all because adult kept deciding what he should know. Alif accepts this too. She says she cannot ask either son to forgive her. Alif's face changes. She says no. The answer surprises him. Alif's face changes. She says no. The answer surprises him. Alif says that is a fact, but motherhood is also years of daily life. Sabnam had those years. Alif did not. She will never insult that relationship by pretending it means nothing. Teoman stares at her. He expected jealousy, possessiveness, maybe anger towards Sabnam. Instead, Alif accepted that another woman raised him. She says if Teoman wants to call her Alif, he can. If nobody, he wants something else, he can decide. Then Teoman nods slowly. That is the first moment he feels emotionally safe around her. Aras notices and feels grateful. Then Alif asks about Sabnam. Teoman says she loves him. Alif asks whether she treated him well. Teoman hesitates. He says she made mistake, but yes. Alif looks relieved. She says that matters. Teoman asks whether Alif hates her. Alif says she hated the idea of another woman raising her child. When she first learned Dimmer survived, then she saw photographs. She saw how Sabnam looked at him. She realized Hertard would not give back the years. It would only create another war around Teoman. Teoman is affected by this. He has spent days feelings pulled between two mothers before even meeting one of them. Alif's refusal to complete makes the situation easier. Aras asks when she learned Nimar was Teoman. Alif says 2 years earlier she had been investigating Hakan, not because she believed Hakan caused the fear, but because she knew he had taken Dimmer. Somewhere she eventually found an old medical transfer record. The date matched, the age matched. Then she saw Teoman. She knew before any DNA test. Teoman asked how. Alif says her mother does not always need proof. Teoman immediately becomes skeptical. Alif smiles and says there was also the scare. He laughs slightly. That is easier for him to accept. Alif says she saw him from a distance several times. She also saw Aras, but she believed approaching either would reconnect Kadir's people to the brother. Aras asks why Kadir still cared after so many years. Alif becomes serious because the leader does not only show financial cream, it shows all people, judges, police officers, businessmen, politicians, company directors, people who helped Frank and Kadir move money and force families of valuable land. Company directors, people who helped Farooq and Kadir move money and forced families of valuable land. Some names are old, some people are still powerful. If the Rediger becomes public, entire network could collapse. Tioman says they already made copies. Elif says that may have saved them. Aras asks why Sim came to the Blue House. Elif says Sim has been looking for her too. Tioman assumes Sim worked for Kadir. Elif says it is more complicated. Sim hates Kadir. The brothers are surprised. Farooq's death created a power struggle inside the Sankek family. Sam inherited legal business, but Kadir kept control of the hidden network. Sam believes Kadir was responsible for Farooq's death. Aras asks whether that is true. Elif says possibly Farooq began talking about leaving the criminal network before he died. Soon after, he had a fatal car accident. Officially, it was an accident. Elif never believed it. Yoman says this family really needs a different way of solving disagreement. Elif almost laughs despite herself. Then she says she may want to the literature as protection against Kadir. Aras asks whether they can work with him. Elif immediately says no, Sam is not trustworthy. He may hate Kadir, but that does not make him good. He wants power. If the Rediger gives him power, he will use it. RS says then they need a way to expose the truth that prevent either man from controlling it. Elif looks at him with pride. She says he sounds like his father. RS goes quiet. For years, comparisons to his father existed only in memory. Hearing his mother says it feels different. Tioman notices. He asks whether he sounds like their father too. Elif looks at him. She says he sounds exactly like him when he is angry. Tioman looks offended, then asks whether that is good. Elif says sometime. Ares smiles. The atmosphere finally softens. For a short time, the three sit together like a family trying to learn the shape of itself again. Elif asks about their lives. Ares talks about the orphans. He does not dramatize the difficult years, but Elif hears what he does not say. She realizes how much he survived without her. Tioman explains his life with the Kayas. He talks about Leila, about Sabnam. He avoids talking about Hakan at first. Elif notices. Then he finally says Hakan saved his life. Elif nods. She believed that too. Tioman says Hakan also stole his identity. Elif says yes. Tioman asks how he is supposed to feel. Elif says she has no answer. Feelings are not court cases. A person can be guilty of one thing and innocent of another. You can love someone and still be angry. You can be grateful and betrayed at the same time. Tioman smiles slightly. He says Dennis told him almost the same thing. Elif immediately asks who Dennis is. Tioman becomes defensive. He says nobody. Aras laughs. Elif looks interested. Tioman tells both of them to stop. Tioman becomes defensive. He says nobody. Aras laughs. Elif looks interested. Tioman tells both of them to stop. The moment becomes surprisingly normal. Elif has been gone for 12 years, yet she recognizes romantic embarrassment immediately. She enjoys Tioman's discomfort far too much. Tioman changes the subject. He asks what their father was like before the business problem. Elif's face becomes softer. She begins telling them stories. Their father loved the sea. He wanted to start a small shipping company. Honestly, he believed business could grow without crushing other people. That belief is partly why Farooq's operation arranged him to so much. He discovered small landowners were being threatened into selling property. Some refused. Their business were destroyed. Some suddenly faced legal problems. One man disappeared. Their father realized his company documents were being used to make part of the operation look legitimate. He confronted Vedit first. Vedit told him to stay quiet. The Hakan warned him, but their father refused to accept that fear should control him. Elif says she begged him to go to the police quietly. He said the police might already be compromised. That is when Nihat became involved. The journalist helped copy document their father created the leader. Elif asks whether they still have it. Ara says yes. She tells them that must never bring it to her. Teoman asks why. Because Kadir believes Elif knows where it is. If the leader appeared sound her, the network will understand the chain immediately. Ares tells her Kadir may already know they open to the box. Elif says then they are running out of time. They need to decide what they want. Ares says justice. Tioman says truth. Elif says those are goals, not plans. RS asks what she suggests. Elif says the leader should go to multiple places at the same time. A lawyer, independent journalist, possibly prosecutors outside the local network, international financial investigator if necessary. Once enough people hold the evidence, killing one person cannot bury it again. Teoman says their father would approve. Elif says that was always his strategy. Speed the truth so wide nobody can burn all of it. Aras asks why she never released the leader herself. Elif says she did not have it. She only knew where the keys were and she could not recover them without exposing Dimmer. She believed one key remained in the old office, but going there would attract attention. The second was with Teoman. She chose waiting. RS is waiting cost years. Elif agrees. Again, she does not defend the choice. A phone rings. It is not RS, it is Elif's hidden phone. She checks the screen. Her face changes. Sam Tioman asks how he has the number. Elif says because every few secrets stays secret forever. She answers. Sam speaks calmly. He says he did not come to hurt her. Elif says why he brought armed men. Sam says because Kadir's men are also searching. He wanted to reach Elif first. Aris speaks to ask. Elif refuses at first. Sam hears his voice anyway. He says hello to Aris. Aris takes the phone. He asks what Sam wants. Sam says the same thing everyone wants to survive. What happens when Kadir discovered the leader is active? Aris says that sound like Sam's problem. Sam responds that it becomes Aris' problem when Kadir learns Alif is Alif. Tioman asks whether Kadir now. Sam says not yet, but he will soon. Sam purposes a meeting. RS says no. Sam says then he will send information. Instead, he gives them a name, Hassan Gur, a retired judge listed in the ledger. According to Sam, Hassan is one of Kadir's oldest allies. More importantly, Hassan recently contacted Hakan. Tioman immediately becomes suspicious. Why would Hakan speak to someone from Kadir's network? Sam says they should ask Hakan. Then he ends the call. Alif says Sam wants to divide them. Tioman says maybe, but Hakan has hidden enough things that the claim cannot be ignored. RS agrees they need to verify. Alif asks whether they can trust Hakan now. Tioman says now, but they can sometimes trust his action. After checking them, that is progress. Instead of automatically defending or attacking Hakan, Tioman now judges each piece separately. The brothers call Leila. She answers quickly. Aris asks whether Hakan meet Hassan Gur. Leila is surprised. She says she saw Hassan's name on an old calendar file. A meeting happened 3 weeks earlier. Before Aris, the dimmer clues. Tioman becomes angry. Hakan was meeting someone connected to Kadir while hiding Dimart's identity. Laila says she will ask him. Tioman says no. If Hakan is hiding something, a direct question will make defensive. RS suggests Leila search for record of calls or business contact first. Leila agrees. Elif listens. She says Leila sounds wrong. Tioman says she is. Elif asks whether Leila knows she is Alif. Tioman says not yet. Ares looks at Elif. She asks whether he wants to tell her. He says yes. Elif agrees. Ares tells Leila. There is a long silence. Then Leila asks whether Ares is sure. Ares says he is sitting beside her. Leila becomes emotional. She says she is happy for him. Then she asks whether Tioman is okay. Tioman says he is listening. Leila immediately tells him not to do anything stupid. Tioman says apparently that is how everyone greets him now. Leila asks to speak with Elif. Tioman looks at her. Elif takes the phone for the first time. The biological mother of Tioman speaks with the sister who grew up beside him. Leila says that she does not know what to say. Elif says neither does she. Leila tells her Sebnam loves Tioman. Elif answers that she knows there is no anger. Leila becomes emotional. She says she was afraid Elif might want to take him away. Elif looks at Tioman. She says Tioman is not a child anyone can take. He chooses his own life. Tioman is visibly affected. That may be the first time an adult connected to this story says it so clearly. Leila thanks her, then she promises to search Hakan's record. After the call, Tioman asks Elif whether she truly means it. She asks what? That she will not try to pull him away from the Kayas. Elif says she did not survive 12 years just to become another person controlling his identity. He can know her, he can know Sebnam, he can love both or be angry with both. This choice is his. Tioman quietly says thank you. The words are simple but they matter. Later that night, Ares and Ellie finally speak alone. Tioman goes outside to check on something. Ares sits across from his mother. He has been waiting for this conversation his entire life, yet now he does not know where to begin. Elif does. She apologizes. Ares tells her apologizes cannot back 12 years. She says she knows. He asks why she told him in the letter not to blame himself for Dimmer. Elif says because she knew Ares. Even at 5, he believed protecting Dimmer was his responsibility. After the fight, she knew if he survived, he would blame himself. Ares starts crying. He says she was right. Every year, every birthday, every clue that failed, he believed he had left Dimmer behind. Elif moves closer but stops before touching him. She asks whether she may. Ares looks at her, then nods. She takes his hands. Ares breaks completely. For years he had no mother to tell him in the thing he needed to hear. Elif says the fire was not his fault. Dimmer's disappearance was not his fault. His parents' choices were not his fault. He was 5 years old. Ares tells her he should have held Dimmer's hand. Elif says he did. He asks what she means. Elif remembers the night clearly enough to tell him when the fire began. Ares pulled Dimmer toward the back exit. He kept holding him until debris fell between them. Ares was injured. Kemal reached Dimmer from the other side. Ares did not let go willingly. He was physically separated. Ares has never remembered that part. For 12 years, his mind stopped at the moment Dimmer disappeared. Now he learns he did not abandon his brother. He tried to save him. Aram cries harder. Elif holds him. This is the first true embrace between them. It is not a perfect holding movement. There is still anger. There are still lost years. But something inside Ares finally changes. One of his oldest beliefs was wrong. He did not fail Dimmer. Tiomans returned quietly and sees them. He almost walks away. Elif notices. She opens one arm slightly. Tioman freezes. He does not know whether to join. Ares looks at him. No one speaks. Tioman eventually sits beside them. He does not fully embrace Elif at first. Then Ares pulls him closer. Tioman complains. Ares ignores him. Elif laughs through tears. For a brief moment, the three become the family that history prevented them from being. The next morning, Leila calls. She found something about Hassan Gur. Hakan did meet him, but the she meeting appears to have been hostile. A security report shows Hassan entered Hakan's office 20 minutes later. Security was told never to allow him inside again. Tioman says that could be an act. Leila says there is more. After the meeting, Hakan transferred money to a legal fund connected to families harmed by old Saknak land deals. Ares realizes Hakan may have been secretly trying to repair some of the damage. Elif is surprised. She says guilt changes people in strange ways. Tioman still wants to ask Hakan directly. Elif says this time maybe they should return toward Bodrum carefully. Elif does not want to enter the city openly. She agrees to meet Hakan at a neutral location. Ares calls him. Hakan's answer. Ares says she is Alif. Hakan becomes completely silent. He knows immediately who Ares means. He asks where. Ares refuses to say. Hakan asks whether Alif is safe. Ares says for now. Hakan's voice changes. He sounds relieved. Ares hears it. This reaction seems genuine. Then Ares asks about Hassan Gur. Hakan becomes defensive. Ares says if Hakan lies, the conversation ends. Hakan admits Hassan approached him. Hassan offered a deal. He wanted information about Ares searched. In return, Qadir's network would stop interfering with the Kaya business. Hakan refused. Tioman take the phone. He asked why Hakan did not want them. Hakan says because at the time he did not know Ares had reached the Lidgar. Tioman responded danger existed anyway. Hakan admits he should have told them. This admission is becoming more common. Maybe Hakan is finally learning. Tioman asks whether Hassan knows Alif is Alif. Hakan says he does not think so. Alif tells Ares to ask one more question. Did Hakan know where she was after the escape? Ares asks. Hakan says no. Alif takes the phone. For the first time in 12 years, Hakan hears her voice. He becomes silent. Alif says Hakan. He says her name. The conversation is heavy with history. Hakan asks if she is safe. Alif says safer than she was when everyone decided silence would for everything. Hakan accepts the criticism. Alif asks why he kept dimmer. Hakan says he has no good answer. She tells him she wants the real answer, not a good one. Hakan finally says it. He loved him at first. He hid dimmer because Farooq was searching. Then Sebnam became attached. Then Hakan did too. Returning dimmer to Ares would expose everything. He told himself Ares would eventually forget. Alif becomes angry. She asks how he could think a child would forget his brother. Hakan says he was wrong. Alif tells him he did not only steal dimmer from Ares, he stole Ares from dimmer. Hakan closes his eyes. That distinction hurts. Tioman listens silently. Hakan says he knows. Alif says no, he knows now. There is a difference. Then she tells him they will meet. Hakan is shocked. She says she wants answer in person. They arrange a location. Before the meeting, Alif speaks with Tioman. She asks whether he wants her to confront Hakan. Tioman says yes, but he does not want her to humiliate him simply because she can. Alif understand. She asks whether Tioman still loves him. He says yes. The admission is difficult. Then he adds that he is still furious. Alif says both can exit. At the meeting, Hakan arrives alone. When he sees Alif, he looks like a man seeing a ghost. For a moment, his usual control disappears. He says he thought she might be dead. Alif says many people found it useful to believe that Hakan apologizes. Elif says she did not come for an apology. Aras and Tioman remain nearby. Leila also arrives later. This becomes the first time the two broken families occupies the same place with most of the truth. This becomes the first time the two broken families occupy the same place with most of the truth exposed. Elif asks Hakan about the night of the fire. Hakan's explain again he discovered Farooq planned to send men to recover the documents. He rushed to warn the family. Vedit was already nearby. Farooq's men arrived earlier than expected. An argument started. Someone knocked over fuel stored near a generator. A fire began accidentally. During the struggle, Hakan insists nobody planned the fire itself. Elif says she remembers. This confirms his story. Aras listens carefully. For years, the fire represented deliberate destruction. Now it appears the attack was deliberate, but the fire itself may have been accidental. That does not reduce the crime, it changes it from. Elif asks who killed her husband. Hakan says he does not know whether the fire or physical injuries killed him. He last saw him fighting one of Farooq's men. Elif closes her eyes. Tioman asks if Hakan knows the attacker name. Hakan says yes. Orhan Gur, Hassan's younger brother. Everyone is shocked. Hassan's connection is deeper than they realized. Orhan died years ago, but Hassan may have spent years protecting his brother. All that explain why Hassan still works with Kadir. He is not simply an old business ally, he is protecting his family history. Aris asks whether Hakan has proof. Hakan says he kept one thing, a security photograph from a camera near the property. The original footage disappeared, but Hakan secretly kept a frame showing Orhan entering. Tioman asks why he never gave it to police. Hakan says because Hassan was already a judge with powerful connections. Hakan believed the evidence would disappear and his family would become targets. Again fear, again silence. Elif tells him fear has ruled too much of this story. Hakan says he knows. He gives Aras the photograph. This becomes another major piece of evidence. Now the brothers can connect Hassan to the original crime through Orhan. Hakan also gives them record proving Hassan connected him recently. Aras says they should expose everything now. Elif says not yet. They still need to identify Kadir's current network and make sure the release cannot be stopped. Tioman asks how much more proof they need. Elif says enough that killing them becomes useless. That idea guides the next plan. They decide to create an evidence package. The leader, the old audio recording, the photograph of Orhan, facility 27 record, Elif's testimony, Kimal's testimony, Eileen's testimony, the DNA connection proving Dimmer became Tioman after the attack, business transfer record showing how Hakan and Vidat benefited or participated, but Elif insists they also include evidence showing Hakan tried to warn the family. Ares is surprised. She says truth must be complete. They cannot remove facts simply because they dislike Hakan. Tioman looks at her with respect. This principle becomes important. If they want justice, they cannot build another manipulated story. They must expose everything, including facts that complicate their own anger. Hakan agrees to testify if necessary. Leila is stunned. She asks whether he realizes this could send him to prison for financial crime, false identity record, and obstruction. Hakan says yes. Tioman looks at him. For the first time, Hakan is choosing truth even when it may destroy him. That does not erase the past, but it may become changing the future. Sebnam is told Elif is alive. Her reaction is complicated. She is relieved for Tioman, terrified for herself. She asks whether Elif wants to see her. Tioman says he does not know. Sebnam says she deserves anger. Tioman responded that Elif is not interested in stealing him. Sebnum looks ashamed that this washes fear. Tioman sits beside her. He tells her he meet Elif. Sebnum asks what she is like. Tioman says strong, careful, a little scary. Sebnum smiles. Tioman says he told him Sebnum is still his mother too. Sebnum begins crying. Tioman becomes uncomfortable but lets her. Eventually Elif agrees to meet Sebnum. The meeting is quiet, no shouting, no dramatic fight. That makes it more powerful. Sebnum apologizes immediately. Elif asks whether she loved Dimar. Sebnum says yes. Elif asks whether she protected him. Sebnum says she tried. Elif asks whether she knew the truth. Sebnum admits she learned year later and stayed silent. Elif becomes emotional. She says that silence took years away. Sebnum accepts it. Then Elif says something unexpected. She thanks Sebnum for raising him. Sebnum looks shocked. Elif says gratitude does not cancel anger, but Tioman survived. He grew up loved. That mattered. Sebnum says she was always afraid Elif would return and take him. Elif says children are not possessions. Tioman is an adult now. He chooses. Sebnum cries for the first time. The two women stop seeing each other as rivals. They become two mothers connected through the same person and the same painful secret. Tioman watches from a distance. Ares asks what he thinks. Tioman says he thinks his life has become too emotional. Ares laughs. Tioman sees he is serious. Then he admits the meeting feels like a weight leaving his chest. He is no longer has to choose which mother is allowed to exit. Later Danny sees Tioman after he returns. He tells her Elif is alive. Dennis immediately hugs him. Tioman freezes, then slowly hugs her back. He tells her he met his mother and watched his two mothers meet in the same day. Dennis says she does not know how he is still standing. Tioman says arrogance provides excellent sport. Dennis smiles. Then she asks what he actually feels. Tioman says he does not know. He liked Elif. That scares him because it feels disloyal to Sebnum. Dennis says caring about one person does not reduce caring about another. Tioman says everybody keeps telling him he can have two truths at once. Then the mother is away from the chase. Good. Now the brothers only need to protect themselves. Tioman tells Ares to slow near a narrow turn and let the first car move close. Ares asks what he is planning. Tioman says, trust me. Ares looks at him. Tioman says, you wanted a brother, now use one. Ares almost smiled despite the danger. They execute the plan. Ares slow. Suddenly, the pursuing car tries to pass. Tioman uses the moment to photograph the license plate and driver clearly. Then Ares turns onto another road. They lose one vehicle. The second continues. Eventually, they reach a busy public area. The car stops following. Tioman sends the plate to Leila. She may be able to identify whether it connects to Hakan or Han or another company. Ares calls Martin. This time he answers their mother is safe at a temporary location. The brothers decide to return to boardroom separately. Before they do, Tioman calls Dennis. He tells her only that he met his mother. Dennis becomes silent. She asks if he is okay. Tioman thinks, I don't know. Dennis says that sounds normal. He tells her their mother called him Tioman after he asked. Dennis understands why that mattered. She asks what Tioman felt seeing her. He says it was like remembering somebody before remembering them. Dennis tells him to write that in the notebook. He laughs. Are you going to check my homework? She says yes. This keeps their emotional connection moving. Ares calls Leila too. He says he found his mother. Leila becomes emotional. She asks if he saw her. Ares says yes. Leila immediately hears something in his voice. She asks what is wrong. Ares says nothing is simple. He is happy. She is alive. He is angry. She stayed away. way. He understands why she did. He hates that he understands. Layla tells him two feelings can be true at once. He does not have to choose between love and danger. Ares says everybody keep giving him mature advice. Layla says somebody has to. He smiles. Then she tells him she found the owner of the car Tioman photographed. The vehicle belongs to a security company, not Hakan's. The company is linked to Orhan Karaka. That confirms the mother was right. Orhan knows they found her. The danger is now immediate. Back in boredom, Hakan is already dealing with pressure of his own. He receives a visit from a man named Vasil, one of Orhan's trusted local people. Vasil does not threaten openly. He smiles. He asks Hakan with her family. Life has become difficult. Hakan knows exactly why he is there. He says Orhan should speak to him directly. Vasil says Orhan prefers people who still control their own house. The insult is clear. Hakan becomes angry. Vissel says Ares and Tioman are searching too aggressively. Hakan says he wanted them. Vissel replies that warning are not enough. Hakan asks what Orhan wants. Vissel says the old evidence. Hakan says he does not have it. Vissel says maybe the brother will find it. Then they will lead Orhan to it. Hakan realizes something important. The attack may not be designed to kill Ares and Tioman yet. Orhan wants them alive along enough to find their father's hidden evidence. This gives Hakan a new reason to protect them, not because he suddenly becomes good, because if Orhan gets the evidence, Hakan could also be destroyed. Vissel tells him one more thing: if Hakan interferes, Orhan will expose everything Hakan did 17 years ago. Hakan says that truth is already coming out. Vissel smiles, not everything. After he leaves, Hakan looks deeply worried. There is another secret, something even Sebnam may not know. Layla finds Hakan off travered. She asks who visited. Hakan says business. Layla says she knows the car belonged to company connected to Orhan. Hakan looks at her sharply. He asks where she got the information. Layla says it does not matter. Hakan says it matters because Orhan is not someone she can challenge. Layla asks why Hakan is afraid of him. Hakan says because fear can sometimes keep people alive. Layla says fear also kept Yoman's identity hidden from 17 years. Hakan becomes tired. For once he does not argue. He tells Layla to stay away from Orhan. She asks if he ordered the attack on Ares' family. Hakan says yes. This is the first time he says it directly. Layla freezes. Hakan says Orhan ordered the evidence recovered. The situation becomes violent. He says he has spent 17 years living with what happened. Layla asks whether regret ever made him tell the truth. Hakan says regret and courage are different things. Layla responds, then maybe find some courage now. This line stays with him. Later Sebnam approaches Hakan. She heard whistle came. She asks if Orhan knows Tioman recovered memories. Hakan says yes. Sebnam becomes afraid. She asks what Orhan will do. Hakan says first he will follow the brother. Then if they find the evidence, he will remove everyone who can speak. Sebnam asks whether that includes Tioman. Hakan does not answer. That silence is terrifying. Sebnam says they need to protect him. Hakan says he has been trying to do that for 17 years. Sebnam replies, then do it without lying this time. Hakan looks at her. He knows she is right. For the first time, Hakan may consider cooperating with Ares. The idea feels humiliating, but the threat is larger than pride. Meanwhile, Ares and Tioman secretly bring their mother closer to Bodrum, but do not place her inside the city. She stays at a remote house belonging to someone Mateen trusts. When Tioman visits, the relationship remains awkward. He does not know what to call her. He cannot easily say mom. She never asks him to. She tells him he can use her name if that feels easier. Tioman asks if that hurts. She says yes, but his comfort matters more than her pain. Right now, this answer affects him. He asks whether she really watched him grow. She says, yes, but his comfort matters more than her pain right now. This answer affects him. He asks whether she really watched him grow. She says as much as he could. She remembers seeing him at a school sports event once. Tioman asks how old he was. She tells him he remembers the day he had won something. Sapnam had been there. Their mother watched from outside the gate. Tioman becomes emotional. He asks why she did not call his name. She asks because two men were watching the school too. She feared if she approached, they would identify him as Dimmer again. Tioman asks if she saw him with Sabnam. Yes, what did you feel? The mother answers honestly, jealous. Tioman looks surprised. She says she hated seeing another woman hug him. Then she saw how Tioman learned into the hug. She understood the felt safe. They made her grateful and angry at the same time. Tioman says that sound confusing. She smiles sadly. Welcome to being a parent. For the first time, Tioman smiled back. Then he asked a difficult question. If I never remember you fully, will that hurt? She says yes. Again, honesty. But she adds that remembering is not his job. He does not owe her a childhood he was forced to forget. They can build something new if he wants. The phrase if he wants matter. Every adult and Tioman spent years making choice for him. His mothers now give him choice immediately. That is how trust can begin. RS watches part of this conversation from outside. He feels emotional seeing them connect. Later, he speaks privately with his mother. He asks whether she is giving Tioman more space because she is afraid of losing him. She says yes. Aris asks why she did not give him the same space. She looks confused. He says she hugged immediately. She spoke if he was still her child. Maybe Aris needed space too. The mother realizes he is right. Because Aris remembered her, she unconsciously excused the relationship could simply continue. But Aris also grew up without her. He is not the child she lost. She apologizes. Aris says he does not want apology. After apology, he was want honesty. She asks what honesty he want. Aris asks if she ever considered building another life. She says yes. She came close once. She had a relationship under the name Selma. She ended it because staying near anyone made them a target. Aris asks if she never wanted to stop searching. She says many times. Then she hated herself for thinking it. Aris says he understands that feeling. They share a painful similarity. Both spent years defined by the search. The mother tells him that finding Tioman does not mean Aris has to spend the rest of his life chasing every remaining secret. Aris disagrees. Their father deserves justice. She says yes, but Aris also deserves a life outside revenge. This idea is new for him. Who is Aras when he is not searching for family? He does not know Layla may become part of that answer later. For now, he avoids the question. The investigation into the lighthouse begins. Aras, Tioman, and Meaton visit the old structure during daylight. The lighthouse has been closed for years. Part of it is used for storage. They search for anything connected to the childhood game. Tioman remembers that their father telling them to count 7 steps from the place where the light meets the floor. Aris thinks that sound ridiculous. Tioman says it is exactly the kind of thing their father would do. They enter the central room. Sunlight passes through old windows. The mechanism is broken. They count nothing. Aris becomes frustrated. Tioman looks at the architecture. He says perhaps where the light meets the floor only work at a certain time. Mateen asks how they are supposed to know when. Aris suddenly remembers their father loved sunset. Maybe the light had to enter from the western window. They wait. Never evening. A narrow line of sunlight moves across the floor. It reaches a specific tile. Tioman counts. If 7 stops, he stops. The floor sounds hollow. They lift a damaged tile. Underneath is a metal container. RS handshake. This could be the evidence everyone has spent 17 years searching for. They open it. Inside is not a full set of documents, only a key and another coded note. RS becomes angry. Another clue, Tioman laughs. Our father was annoying. RS says runs in the family. Tioman ignores him. The note contains numbers and the drawing of a boat. Mateen says the key looks like a bark deposit key or storage key. RS remember another childhood story. 7 boats. Their father once took them Marina and made them count bought by color. Tioman writes the number, maybe the code, refer to a locker at the old marina. Before they can leave, Tioman sees movement outside. A man with a camera. Someone is watching. RS runs after him. Tioman follows. The man gets into a car. The brother manages to block the path for a moment. The watcher exits and fight. RS recognizes him from the security company connected to Orhan. Tioman grabs the camera. The man escapes on foot. Inside the camera are dozens of photographs. The brother entering the lighthouse. Their mother at the safe house. Leila, Dennis, Mateen, Sabnam, even Hakan. Orhan is watching everyone now. Tioman sees photograph of Dennis and become furious. He says this and RS understand one stranger reaches the people they love. The investigation become more personal. They take the camera back at the safe house. The mother looks at the key. She recognizes it. Their father kept a private deposit box at a small bank years ago. The bank later merged with another institution. The number on the note may identify the box. RS says they can access it. The mother wants that old record may flag the name. Orhan may have leave watching. Tioman suggests using Dokokan. RS immediately looks unhappy. Tioman asks why. RS says nothing. Tioman smiles. You still don't like him. RS says this has nothing to do with that. Tioman clearly does not believe him. Dogokan has family connection and may be able to confirm whether the deposit box still exists without using RS name. They call Leila. She brings Dogokan into the plan. Dogokan agrees to help. He contacts someone at the bark secretly. Hours later, the confirms the box still exists. Nobody has opened it in 17 years. The account is under RS and Tioman father name. Access require either legal proof of death, inheritance or an original key plus a secondary code. They have the key. The numbers on the note may be the code. This is the closest they have come to the real evidence. But before they go to the bank, Hakan contacts Tioman. This is unusual. Tioman almost ignored the call. RS says answer. Tioman does. Hakan asks to meet privately. Tioman says no. Hakan says it concerned Orhan. Tioman looks at RS. RS want to listen to. Tioman puts the phone on speaker. Hakan says Orhan knows about the lighthouse. The brother exchange a look. Hakan knows straight quickly. He says if they found what their father hid, they need to stop moving openly. RS speak. Hakan becomes silent. Then he says, of course you are there. RS tells him to get to the point. Hakan says Orhan is waiting for them to find the final evidence. Once they do, he will take it. Tioman asks how Hakan knows. Hakan says Vail told him enough. RS asks why Hakan is helping. Hakan replies because if Orhan get those files, none of us survive. What comes next? This is not emotional redemption. It is the self-interest that make it believable. Tioman asks what Hakan purpose is. Hakan says they need to create false evidence, give Orhan something believable while moving the real file. Someone were safe. Aris refuses immediately. He does not trust Hakan near the evidence. Hakan says he expected that. Yoman asks what information Hakan can provide instead. Hakan gives them the location of the warehouse Irhan uses near boardroom. He says if they want to know how closely they are being watched, there is where local surveillance it coordinated. Aris asks why Hakan ever destroyed it himself. Hakan says because open war with Orhan would have destroyed business and family. Teoman responds, so fear again. Hakan does not deny it. Before ending the call, Hakan says something unexpected. Keep Dennis away from this. Teoman becomes angry. How do you know about Dennis? Hakan says Orhan's people asked question about her. Teoman's face changes completely. He ends the call. Immediately he contacts Dennis. She says she is fine. Teoman tells her not to go home alone. Dennis becomes annoyed at the controlling tone. Teoman stops himself. He explains the situation instead. Someone connected to Orhan may be watching her. Dennis understands. She agrees to stay with trusted people. Teoman appreciates that she limited because he gave information rather than orders. Aris sees this. The brothers are both learning the same lesson through different relationships. Leila also receives protection information. Aris tells her the same thing. He asks her to be careful. She says she will. She also tells him something important. Dogokan found a way to access the bank books tomorrow morning, but there is a problem. Someone else asked about the same box 2 days earlier. Aris becomes still, who the bank would not give a full name, only initials MK Murad Kaya. The warning from the Blue House returned immediately. Do not trust Murad. Why is Murad suddenly searching for the same box? Maybe he knows the brother are close. Maybe he has been waiting all these years. The next morning, the group split again. Aris, Teoman, and Dogo Khan go to the bank. Mateen watches outside. Leila remains near Hakan to monitor his movements. Their mother stays hidden. Dennis remains protected at the bank. Security verifies the old key and code. The manager is courteous. Dogokan's connection help but does not erase procedure. Eventually, they enter a private room. The metal box is placed on the table. Aris looks at Teoman. Teoman says, open it. Aris uses the key. Inside are several sealed envelopes, a small drive, a notebook, and a photograph of their father. No large pile of documents. Aris becomes confused. Then he opens the notebook. It contains handwritten code and name. At the front is a message. It my sons find these. Trust each other before you trust anyone else. Aris reads it aloud. Teoman looks at him. Their father somehow imagined the possibility that the boys might one day reach the evidence together. The notebook explained where the full files are stored, not in the bank. The book box contains the final map. There is a set of coordinates. Mateen letter identifies them as an abundant boat repair yard outside Bodrum. The drive may contain encryption keys. The photograph of their father has writing on the back. Murad knows half, Hakan knows half, neither knows everything. This line complicates both men. Murad may not be a full triator, Hakan may not know the complete story. The brother takes the content as they leave the bank. Aris notices a familiar card. Murad is inside. The man from the photograph, still alive, still watching. Aris runs toward him. Murad drives away. Teoman stops Aris from chasing into traffic. Aris says they finally had him. Teoman say they have his license and now his identity. Togokan contacts someone who can track the car. Hours later, they find Murad at an old hotel property. This meeting becomes another major emotional confirmation. Murad does not run this time. He says he was waiting. Aris immediately asks why he went to the bank. Murad says because he knew the brothers would find the key. Tioman asks how. Murad says their mother called him after seeing them. Both brothers become angry. Their mother still communicates with him despite the warning. Murad says the warning exists because she does not know whether to trust him. He understands. Varas asks what he meet Orhan. Murad says because staying alive required appearing useful to both sides. Tioman says everybody in this story has the same excuse. Murad agrees. Then he says difference matter in what people did with that fear. He claims he helped their mother escape. He hid her. He moved evidence away from Orhan. He also gave Orhan false information for years. Aras asks why their mother stopped trusting him. Murad says because one false report went wrong. He told Orhan she had moved to another city. Orhan's people attacked someone there, believing it was her. An innocent woman died. Murad never forgave himself. Their mother never fully trusted him again. Tioman asks why Murad now wants the evidence. Murad says because Orhan is moving quickly. If the brothers retrieve the real files from the boatyard, they cannot simply keep them. They need multiple copies. Lawyers, journalists, authorities outside Orhan's reach. Aras asks why they should trust his plan. Murad says they should not trust the evidence. He gives them another drive. It contained recording of Orhan speaking with Hakan years earlier. If authentic, the recordings prove both men knew about the illegal network, but one file also shows Hakan arguing against killing the family. This matters. Hakan participated in the cover up. He helped change Dimar's identity. Yet in the recording, he tells Orhan that harming children is unnecessary. Orhan replies that witness regardless of age. Tioman listens in silence. This may explain why Hakans took him. Partly selfish, partly protective, completely wrong, but not simple. Murad wants them one final time. Orhan's people are ready now about the boatyard. The brothers need to assume they are walking into a trap. Ares says then they go prepared. Tioman says not yet. He wants their mother involved in the decision. Ares agrees. This is growth for both. They return to the safe house. Their mother is upset. They meet Murad without telling her. Aras says she does not get to complain about people making secret decisions. That stops her. She expects the criticism. They show her the bank notebook and Murad's recording. She listens. Her expression changes. Hearing Hakan oppose harming the children, Tioman watches her. He asks if she knew. She says no. For years, the believed Hakan took Dimmer only because he wanted control and because Sebnam wanted a child. Now it appears he also feared Orhan killing Dimmer. Tioma looks deeply conflicted. Aras says that does not erase everything else. Tioman agrees, but truth matters even when it helps someone he is angry at. This is an important change. Tioman is no longer looking for proof that Hakan is evil. He is looking for what actually happened. The group plans the boatyard operation carefully. They assume Orhan is waiting. Mateen suggests involving police. Hakan wants through Tioman that local police may include Orhan's people. Murad recommends contacting a prosecutor in another city, but that will take time. Aras fears the evidence may be moved. Their mother suggests a compromise. They go to the boatyard only to confirm the files are there. They do not remove them until outside authorities are ready. RS hit the quotation. Tioman spots it. The next day, RS and Tioman entered the abandoned yard at night while Mateen and Ogo Khan watched different roads. The notebook leads them to an old boat storage building. Inside is a rusted vessel with the same salmon boat symbol from childhood. Tioman says their father really turned everything into games. RS says maybe he knew children were the only people nobody would suspect. They climb inside a hidden section under the floor contain waterproof container. Inside are documents, hundred of pages, photograph, financial record, name of officials, business, payments, a video recording, the complete evidence. RS look at Yoman. They finally found what destroyed their family. Then the light turned on. Men appear around the building. Vessel walks forward. Orhan's local people were waiting. Vessel says thank you. RS realizes the trap. Tioman quietly texts Mateen a pre-arranged signal. Vessel asks for the container. RS refuses. Vessel says nobody need to die. Tioma laughs. They're apparently what everyone says right before someone gets hurt. Vessel tells him Hakan taught him arrogance. Tioma answers, he taught me a lot of things, some useful. The brothers move close together. Vessel's men surround them before the fight begins. Another group enters. Hakan with his on security, everyone freezes. RS looks shocked. Tioma looks even more surprised. Hakan tells Vissel to leave. Vissel laughs. He says Hakan has finally chosen the wrong side. Hakan replies, my son is standing there. Tioman's face changes. The word son still affects him. Vissel says Orhan will destroy Hakan. Hakan answered, then he can try. This is the first open break between Hakan and Orhan. The first fight begins. Hakan's men and Vissel's people clash. RS protect the evidence. Tioman fights beside him. At one point, Hakan saves Tioman from an attacker. Tioman looks at him in shock. Hakan shouts for him to move. No time for emotion. RS sees it. His understanding of Hakan becomes more complicated too. Eventually, Vissel escape, but several attackers are captured. Hakan's people scare the area. RS immediately point at Hakan. He says Hakan is not touching the files. Leila apparently decided the brothers needed backup but did not tell RS because she knew he would refuse. RS becomes annoyed. Tioman says, look like she knows you. Hakan says the files need to leave boardroom tonight. RS asks who he trusts. Hakan says nobody. That is why they need copies in many places. The same conclusion Murad reached for the first time. Enemies are agreeing. They create digital copies. One goes with Mateen, one with Dogokan, one to an outside lawyer through Murad, one with the mother, one with RS and Tioman. The physical originals are moved to a secure location. Now Orhan can solve the problem by stealing one box. This changes the power balance, but the victory is incomplete. At the end of the night, Hakan and Tioman stand alone for a moment. Hakan has a cut on his face. Tioman asks why he came personally. Hakan says because he was tired of other people deciding whether he finally lived. Tioman responds funny. Hakan asks what he means. That is exactly what Hakan did to him. He says, I know. Teoman looks surprised. Hakan continues. He says he cannot change what he did. He thought hiding dimmer was the safest choice. Later, he knew it had become selfish. By then, he was afraid to lose everything. Teoman asks if Hakan expects forgiveness because he helped tonight. Hakan says no. This is one of the first time Hakan asks for nothing. He tells Teoman that Orhan would have killed Dimmer if he had released into the system. Teoman asks why Hakan did not reunite him hours. Years later, Hakan says because he was a coward. The word is shocking coming for him. Teoman stares. Hakan says he told himself he was protecting Teoman, Sebnam, Leila and the family. But part of the truth is simpler. He was afraid. Teoman says that does not for anything. Hakan replies, I know. Teoman walks away, but something has changed. For the first time, Hakan has admitted responsibility without turning it into a defense. That does not create forgiveness, it creates the possibility of honesty. Aris and Teoman return to their mother. Near sunrise, she sees them enter together, both exhausted, both burst, both carrying copies of the evidence their father died trying to protect. Aras places the notebook in front of her. He says they found it. She begins crying. Teoman places the original family photograph beside it for a moment. The three sit silently. Their father is still gone. Their childhood cannot return. 17 years cannot be recovered, but the truth is no longer hidden in one person's memory. It exists in document, recording, witness, copies. The secret how has protection because too many people know it. Their mother tells them their father would be proud. Aris looks away. Teoman asks, of what? She says that you found each other before you found the evidence. Teoman looks at Aras. The message in the bank notebook comes back. Trust each other before anyone else. That may have been their father's real final instruction. The section can end later that morning when another message arrives, not from Orhan, not from Hakan, not from Murad, from Serhat. Aris receives a photograph. Serhat is alive. He is standing beside a man whose face is partly hidden. The message says, you found the files. Good. Now ask who your father trusted with the original copy. Aris becomes confused. They thought the boat yet contained the original. Teoman reads the message. Then a second line appears. What you found is only the copy he wanted Orhan to find. The brothers stare at the phone. Their mother becomes pale. She whispers one name, Murad. Aris looks at her. She says their father once told her that if everything failed, one person would carry the true original evidence. Murad Kaya. Sam says yes. He wants a trade, a copy of certain lecture pages in exchange for access record from the new facility. Aris refuses. Sam says then good luck. Elif stops Aris from ending the call. She asks which lecture pages. Sam wants the section showing Farooq's payment to Qadir. Why? Because Sam wants proof Qadir controlled his father. Elif says they can give him copies without giving the full lecture. Aris does not like the dead, but Teoman agrees with Elif if the pages are already backed up. Sharing a few does not weaken their position. They negotiate. Sam sends partial access logs first. The files contain names. One surprises Hakan. Wedded Karahan. He is alive and recently entered the facility. This explains his disappearance. Someone took Vedat after the brothers met him. He may now be held or pressured at the new center. And other name appears, Dr. Salim. The doctor from Elif Salt medical file also alive. If they can reach both men, they gain major witness. Elif says now they have a reason to act. The group create a careful plan, no secret invasion, no reckless breaking into the building. They contact a trusted liar first, then and investigate journalists connected to Nihat. They arrange for information to be released if they disappear. Hakan uses his legal contact to prepare official inquiries. RS hate the slower approach, but he accepts it. This shows growth. Instead of running toward danger alone, he builds protection around the truth. Tioman notices. He says RS is becoming boring. RS tells him boring people live longer. Tioman says terrible news. Before leaving for Ankara, RS spends another evening with Elif. They cook together, or at least Elif tries. RS says he remembers her cooking being better. Elif looks offended. Tioman tastes the food and agrees with RS. Elif threatens to stop cooking entirely. For a few minutes, they behave like a normal family. That ordinary scene may become one of the most emotional because it shows what was stolen from them. Not only big events, simple dinners, arguments about food, small jokes, everyday life. After dinner, Elif gives each son something. For Aras, an old bracelet their father wore. For Tioman, a small photograph of him as Dimmer holding the boat. Tioman studies it. He sees himself as a child beside Aras. They are laughing, no fight, no secrets, just brothers. He says he wishes he remembered that day. Elif tells him he does not need every memory to know it happened. Tioman places the photograph in his wallet. Aras notices. He says nothing. Later, Tioman asks Aras whether he truly wants to expose Hakan's crime to. Aras says yes. Tioman becomes tense. Aras explains if they hide Hakan's wrongdoing because they now understand his reasons, they become exactly like the adults who hid truth for people they love. Tioman knows he is right, but the idea of Hakan facing prison affects him. Aras asks whether Tioman wants him to leave those spots out. Tioman says no. Then after a push, he admits he wishes he did. Aras understands justice comes much harder when it involves someone you love. Tioman says he may hate what Hakan did, but imagining Leila losing her father or Sebnam being alone hurts. Aras says consequences belong to Hakan's choices, not Tioman. Against he stopped his brother from carrying responsibility that is not his. The investigation into the Ankara facility begins. Aras, Tioman, Elif and a legal team travel there. Hakan remains in boredom but provides contacts. Leila stays close to Sebnam. Dennis tells Tioman to come back. Alif. He jokes that she sounds worried. She says she will kill him himself if he does anything reckless. Tioman says that is not comforting. At the facility, they do not interest intruders. The lawyer requests access regarding Vedat. The management denies he is there, but they have some success logs. The lawyer presents them. The manager becomes nervous. Aras recognizes fear. He knows they are close. Eventually, authorities become involved, not local people connected to Kadir, but a higher level team arranged through the lawyer and journalist. The facility is searched. Several records are found hidden. Some patients are there under false names. One is Vedat. He is Alif but injured. When he sees Aras and Tioman, he looks ashamed. He says he wants them. The network was bigger. Tioman asks who took him. Vedat says Hassan's people. They wanted to know what he hold the brothers. He refused some question. That is why he was moved. Aras asks about Dr. Salim. Vedat says Salim is also inside. They find him in another section. The doctor is terrified. He has spent years working for the network because they hold evidence of his own illegal actions. Aras confronts him about Elif. Salim admits he treated her at facility 27. He knew she was not there voluntarily. He also knew patients were drugged to weaken memories. Tioman becomes furious. He asks whether Salim drugged his mother. Salim says yes. Tioman almost attack him. Aras stop him. Elif herself entered. Salim sees her and lawyer sees eyes. Elif asks why he did it. Salim says fear. Again the same word. Elif tells him fear does not remove responsibility. Salim agrees. He offers testimony. He can prove Kadir control facility 27 through hidden companies. He also known where Hassan communicated with Kadir recently. This is the breakthrough they needed. The authorities size record, but Kadir is not arrested. He is gone. Someone warned him. The group immediately suspect a leak. Sam Hassan, someone inside law enforcement. They do not know. Then Tioman receives a message from an unknown number, a photograph. It shows Leila leaving the Akaya villa. The message says, "Stop digging, or the next family you lost will be the one you still have." Tioman face changes. He immediately calls Leila. No answer. Again nothing. Ares sees the messages. He calls Hakan. Hakan answers. Ares asks where Leila is. Hakan says she left 20 minutes ago to meet someone. He thought it was Ares. Ares says no. Everyone realizes the threat may already be active. Tioman becomes frantic. He wants to drive back immediately. Alif tells him to think. He says there is no time. Ares agrees. They need to move. But before they leave, Leila finally answers. Tioman grabs the phone. She says she is fired. She went to meet Dennis. Tioman asks where. Leila tells him. Ares tells her dad to stay inside and not travel alone. Leila understands something is wrong. She asks what happened. Tioman does not want to scare her. Ares takes the phone and tells her the truth. Someone threatened her. Leila becomes silent, then says she will stay with Dennis. Hakan sends security. Tioman hates the idea but does not object this time. Protecting Leila matters more than arguing about control. The threat reveals Kadir is watching them closely. They need to accelerate the evidence release. Alif suggests publishing enough of the literature to make killing them useless. Nihat agrees. The journalists prepare a major investigation. Lawyers send copies to prosecutors. Evidence is secured aboard. Once the first reporter becomes public, Kadir can no longer quietly erase everything. But publishing also has consequences. Hakan's name appeared, so does Vedat, so does several officials. The Kaya company faces public pressure. Leila becomes catch in media attention. Tioman's hidden identity becomes part of the investigation. Reporters discover Tioman was bond dimmer. He hates losing privacy. Ares feels guilty. Tioman tells him not to. He agreed to release the truth. He only wishes journalists would stop shooting questions outside every building. The public story becomes huge. A child believed lost after a family tragedy was secretly raised under another identity. A mother survived and lived in hiding. A financial network protected powerful people. The brothers become symbol of the investigation, whether they want it or not. Hakan publicly admits he helped to falsify some records. He says if telling the truth damages him, there is a consequence. This surprises everyone. Tioman watches the interview privately. Hakan says he believed he was protecting a child, but now understand he also denied that child his identity and his brother. Tioman becomes emotional. Sabnam sits beside him. She asks whether he is proud of Hakan. Tioman says not exactly, but maybe he respects that he finally stopped hiding, that it progressed. The public release also forces Hassan Gur into the open. He denies everything. He calls the Lidgar fake. Then the photograph of Farhan appears, the audio recordings, the medical records, his defense weakness. Authorities begin investigating him, but Kadir remains invisible. Sam contacts Aras again. He says, "Congratulations, this started a war." Aras says the war began 12 years ago. Sam says now Kadir knows every name on the older side. Aras asks whether Sam is one of those names. Sam laughs, maybe. Then he offers a meeting, this time with information about Kadir's location. Alif says it may be a trap. Tioman says everything is a trap. At this point, They agree only if Sim comes somewhere they choose. He arrives alone. For the first time, Aris and Tioman meet him face to face. Sam looks calm. He says they resemble their father. Tioman asks whether everyone knew their father except them. Sim smiles, then becomes serious. He says Kadir is preparing to leave the country. If he leaves, he may remain unreachable for years. Aris asks where. Sam gives them a private marina location. A boat will leave the next evening. Tioman asks why Sam is helping. Sam says because Kadir killed Farooq. Aris asks for proof. Sam gives him a recording. Farooq recorded an argument with Kadir shortly before his death. Kadir threatened him. It is not proof of murder, but it shows motivate. Sam says if Kadir escapes, he will never stop controlling the family. Aris asks why Sam cannot stop him himself. Sam says because Kadir has people inside Sam's comprise. He has spent his whole life being controlled by the same man. Tioman says that does not make them allies. Sam agrees. He only wants the same outcome. Kadir exposed. Aris says the authorities must handle it. Sam wants that some of those authorities may still belong to Kadir. Alice says then they use several teams. The plan forms. The marina will be watched. Journalists know enough to publish. If something goes wrong, official from outside the local structure will be involved. The brothers do not need to physically capture Kadir. They only made to make escape difficult. That evening, Aris sits with Yoman near the sea. The story has come strangely full circle. Aris once arrived in Bodrum looking for Dimmer. Now Dimmer is beside him. Their mother is alive. Hakan is cooperating, and the original enemy is finally visible. Tioman asks what happens after Kadir is gone. Aris says he does not know. Tioman says that is coming. Aris's favorite answer. Aris smiles. Then Tioman asks something more serious. Will Aris still need to search for something? After all this, Aris looks at him. Tioman explained for years searching became Aris' identity. First Dimmer, that their mother, then the truth about the fire. What happens when there is nothing left to chase? Aris has never thought about it. Tioman says maybe Aris will have to learn how to leave. Aris asks whether Tioman plans to teach him. Tioman says absolutely not. He is still trying to learn himself. They laugh. Then Aris says maybe they learn together. Tioman looks at him. The answer feels right. The next day, the operation around the marina begins. Hakan wants to come. Aris says no. Tioman surprises everyone by agreeing with Aris. Hakan asks why. Tioman says because if Hakan appears, Kadir may recognize the setup toward him. Hakan accepts the logic. Before Tioman leaves, Hakan stops him. He says he is sorry. Tioman says Hakan has said that before. Hakan says he knows. He is not asking for forgiveness today. He only wants Tioman to know he loves him. Tioman looks at him for a long time, then says, I know. Hakan becomes emotional. Tioman leaves before the movement becomes larger. That simple answer means everything. Tioman does not forgive him fully, but he believes the love was real. At the marina, Kadir arrives for the first time. The person behind so many years of fear becomes visible. He is older, calm, not physically intimidating. That makes him more unsettling. He looks like someone who spent his life making other people commit crimes for him. Aris sees him from a distance. Alif becomes tense. She has not seen Kadir in years. Tioman looks at his mother. Her hands shake. He quietly takes one. Alif looks at him for the first time. Tioman initiates contact. He does not call her mother. He does not need to. The gesture is enough. Kadir approaches the boat. Authorities move, but before they reach him, another group appears. Men loyal to Kadir block part of the marina. Confusion begins. Sam arrives unexpectedly. Aris becomes angry. Sam says Kadir changed the departure plan. They need to move now. Aris tells him to stay out. Sam says if he stays out, Kadir escapes. The situation becomes chaotic. Kadir says Alif He stopped even after all these years. His face shows surprise. He thought she was dead. Elif steps forward. Ares tells her not to. She says has hidden long enough. Kadir smiles. He tells her she should have stayed hidden. Ares moves beside her. Teoman stands on the other side. Kadir looks at both sons. He recognizes the situation immediately. So Dimar came back. Teoman says, no, I was always here. The line matters. He no longer sees Dimar and Teoman as two separate people. He is both histories. Kadir tells them their father destroyed himself because he did not know when to stop. Ares respond that their father tried to stop men like Kadir from destroying everyone else. Kadir laughs. He says morality is easy when you have no power. Teoman tells him power is also easy when everyone around you is afraid. Kadir looks at him with interest. He says Hakan raised him well. Teoman answers Hakan made mistake, but at least he finally learned fear does not excuse them. You never did. Kadir becomes colder. He tells Elif the lecture will not shame them. Too many people are involved. Elif says that is exactly why it has already been shared. Kadir's expression changes for the first time. He asks what she means. Ares says copies are everywhere. Liars, journalists, investigator. Even if every person standing there disappeared, the evidence remains. Kadir realizes killing them cannot erase the truth anymore. Their father's strategy finally wins. Spread the evidence, make silence impossible. Authorities approach from multiple directions. Kadir tries to leave. His own men begin disappearing. Some do not want to fight. Once they understand the operation is public, Sam watches. He tells Kadir it is over. Kadir looks at him with disgust. He says Farooq would be ashamed. Sam answered that Farooq died afraid of him. The statement hurts. Kadir moves toward the boat anyway. The gunfire sounds. Nobody knows who started it. Everyone drops. Ares shoots Elif. Teoman moves toward Ares. One of Kadir's men fires again. Sam pushes Teoman aside. The bullet hits Sam. He falls. Teoman is shocked. The man he did not trust just saved him. Authorities will control quickly the shooter. Kadir is prevented from reaching the boat. He is arrested. Sam remains alive but badly injured. Teoman kneels beside him. Sam looks at him and jokes weakly that now Teoman owes him. Teoman says he hates showing people. Sam says good, then loses consciousness. An ambulance arrives. The operation ends not with celebration but exhaustion. Kadir is in custody. Hassan is already under investigation. The network is finally breaking, but nobody knows what legal battles will follow. Truth entering public view is not the same as justice being complete. Ares stands beside Elif. Teoman joins them for the first time. There is no immediate person to chase, no car coming toward them, no locked archive, no hidden door, just the three of them looking at the sea. Elif asks if they are all right. Teoman says no. Ares says probably not. Elif smiles. She says that sounds like an honest answer. They return to boardroom. The reunion everyone delayed can finally begin properly. Elif meets Leila. Leila hugs her. Elif thanks Leila for standing beside both boys. Leila says they did most of the difficult work. Teoman says Ares did most of the dramatic work. Ares tells him to be quiet. Dennis arrives. Elif immediately understands who she is. Teoman becomes impressed again. Ares enjoys it. Sebnams join them. Hakan remains slightly apart. Nobody knows whether he belongs inside his family movement. Teoman sees him. After several seconds, he tells Hakan to come closer. Hakan hesitates, then joins. The image is imperfect. That is what makes it meaningful. Ares beside Elif. Teoman between the mother who gave birth to him and the mother who raised him. Leila beside Hakan. Dennis nearby. Martin and the orphan's family arriving later. Nobody's place is simple. Nobody history is clean. But for one, secret are not deciding where people stand. people choose for themselves. Later that night, Aris sits alone near the shore. Ellie finds him. She asks what he is thinking. Aris says he keeps expecting another clue to appear, another name, another mystery. Ellie says maybe one will. Life rarely ends neatly. Aris asks whether she plans to disappear again. Ellie says no. He looks at her carefully. She says she cannot promise danger will never return, but she can promise she will not leave without telling him. That is enough. Aras asks where she will live. Elif does not know. She does not want to enter Teoman's life too quickly. She also does not want to remain a stranger to Aras. Aras says that they can figure it out. Elif smiles. Those words sound like something a family says when it expects a future. Teoman later joins them. He says everyone is looking for others. Ares says he wanted quiet. Teoman tells him quiet is suspicious. Elif asks Teoman to sit. He does for several minutes. Nobody speaks. Then Teoman asks whether Elif still wants him to be called Dimmer. She says she never said that. He knows. He says he has been thinking. Teoman is the name of the life he remembers. Dimmer is the name of the life that was taken from him. He does not want to erase either. Elif says then he should not. Ares agrees. Teoman says maybe Dimmer can remain part of him without replacing Teoman. Ares tells him that is what he always wanted, not the child from his memory, the brother who survived. Teoman looks at him, then says good because I am definitely better looking than 5-year-old Dimmer. Ares throws something at him. Elif laughs. The section closes not with another huge mystery, but with something the family has never had a beginning. The legal fight against Kadir will continue. Hakan will still face consequences for the crimes and lies he admitted. Teoman will still struggle with two identities and two mothers. Ares will have to learn how to live without making every day a search mission. Elif will have to rebuild relationships she lost for 12 years. Leila will have to decide how she wants to stand beside Hakan while accepting this mistake. Sabnam will need to rebuild Teoman's trust slowly. Dennis and Teoman will have to decide whether their growing connection becomes something more. Sam's survival may create another complicated relationship because he saved Teoman while still carrying the Senkek family history, and the public investigation may reveal names none of them expected. But the most important victory has already happened. The family is no longer divided by the lie. Ares found Dimmer. Dimmer found the truth behind Teoman. Teoman found Elif. Elif found both of her sons, and every person who tried to protect the brother through silence has finally been forced to understand the same lesson. Truth can hurt, truth can break families, truth can expose crimes, truth can create consequences nobody wants, but a life built entirely around hiding the truth becomes another kind of prison. Ares spent 12 years trying to open that prison. Now the door is finally open. The next challenge is learning how to walk through it together. Daha 17. In the next part of Daha 17, the story can move into an even darker stage after Ares and Teoman discovered that the evidence they recovered may not be the final original copy. For the first time, the brothers have already achieved something that seemed impossible. They found each other, they found their mother, they forced Hakan to admit part of the truth. They discovered Orhan's role in the events that destroyed their childhood. They recovered files that can damage the criminal network. Yet, just when it appears that they finally have enough information to fight back, Serhat sent one more message. The real original evidence may still exist, and Murad Kaya may be the man carrying it. That changes everything again because Murad is not a simple enemy. He helped their mother escape. He protected her under another identity. He gave information that helped the brother understand Orhan But he also met secretly with dangerous people, appeared near the bank deposit box, and was connected to the night their father disappeared. The brothers now face a problem more difficult than finding an obvious villain. They have to understand whether Murat is a friend who made terrible choices, a traitor pretending to help a man who has spent 17 years surviving between both sides. Aras reads Serhat message several times. Each time his anger becomes stronger. He is tired of people knowing pieces of his family story while he remains the last person to understand. Teoman notices the way Aras hold the phone. He recognized that look now it is the moment before Aras decide to run somewhere without thinking. Teoman says, don't. Aris look at him. Don't whatever stupid thing you are about to do. Aris says he is only thinking. Teoman answered that Aris thinking usually end with broken dots. Their mother almost smiled despite the tension. Aris says they need to find Murat immediately. Teoman agrees with the goal but not with the method. He says Murat knows they have already started questioning him. If they rush directly to his hotel, he may disappear. Aras asks what Teoman suggests. Teoman says they watch first, find out who Murat is meeting, where he is going, whether he is talking to Orhan, whether he has contact with Serhat. Aras look at him for a moment. You really didn't grow up with Hakan. Teoman's expression changes. Aris immediately understands the comment went deeper than he attended. He apologizes. Teoman says nothing for a few seconds. Then he says maybe, but that does not mean everything he taught me is useless. Aris nods. That is fair. Teoman's ability to read people, notice power, and understand wealthy families hide information can now become useful rather than destructive. Their mother tells them there is another reason to avoid rushing. If Murat really holds the original evidence, Orhan may also be watching him. Any direct confrontation could reveal that the brothers know too much. Aris asks what is so special about the original evidence. They already have copies proving financial crimes. Their mother explained that the flies from the boatyard may prove illegal business, but their father's original package included something more dangerous, a handwritten list. Not only companies, people, officials, police officers, judges, businessmen, political connections, foreign accounts, payment dates, and one reading where Orhan spoke openly about removing people who become threats. Teoman understand the boatyard evidence can hurt Orhan. The original can destroy his entire network. That is why everyone wants it. Aras asks why his father trusted Murat with something that important. Their mother says Murat was not simply a friend. He was like family. Before everything went wrong, Aras and Teoman's father trusted him more than Hakan, Serhat, or anyone else. Aras becomes even angrier if Murat betrayed their trust. The betrayal is person. Teoman asks whether their father ever suspected him. Their mother says yes. Near the end, that is why the blue house contained the warning. Does not trust Murat. Aras says their father must have learned something. The mother corrects him. The waiting was written by her, not their father. Aris looked surprised. She explained that years later she discovered Murat had met Orhan secretly. She never learned why. From that moment she stopped trusting him completely. Teoman asked whether Murat knew that she stopped trusting him. Yes. And he still helped you? Yes. That make Murat even harder to understand. Aris asked if she ever directly accused him of betrayal. She did. Murat denied selling them out. He said some meetings with Orhan were necessary because he was feeling false information. Their mother never knew whether to believe him. This becomes the central question. Was Murat pretending loyalty to Orhan to protect the family, or pretending loyalty to the family while helping Orhan? The brothers decide they cannot answer through arguments. They need facts. Martin takes responsibility for watching Murat discreetly. Dogo Khan offers to help because Murat moves in business circle. His family understand. Aris immediately says no. Dogo Khan asks why Aris is too many people are already in danger. Dogo Khan replies that he is already involved. Leila agrees if Murat attends private business events, Dogo Khan may be able to enter places where Aris or Tioman would be noticed instantly. Aris still does not like it. Tioman looks at him. Jealousy is a terrible reason to reject useful help. Aris gives him a warning look. Leila almost loves Dogo Khan, smiles. Aris says this has nothing to do with jealousy. Nobody believes him. For a few seconds, the atmosphere becomes lighter. Then the serious plan continues. Dogo Khan will check Murat's business movement. Martin will watch the hotel. Leila will continue watching Hakan because Hakan may contact Murat after learning the brother found the files. Tioman will try to understand Murat through Sebnam. If Murat spent years around the Kayas, she may remember detail nobody considered important before. Aras will follow Serhat's message trail. The brothers still have no idea where Serhat is. That mystery brother Aras Serhat appears whenever the truth is about to move, gives one important clue and disappear again. Aras becomes